You need to shut the fuck up.
Hey, motherfuckers. This is Minx. Suck my balls.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
put on your uniform right,
Expert Action Badge.
show up to work on time,
Expert Action Badge.
qualify on your weapon,
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right, just doing your normal warrior task and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action. The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Action Badge.
Cartman! Yeah!
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tied Up Tuesday. I'm your host, Minx. Down there is Great Cloud, and we have Owl with us tonight. It is the 27th of March, 2018. Happy International Whiskey Day.
Yes, sure. It is.
And I'm such a bad whiskey drinker. I don't have any at all in my house. I drank it all.
That's just fucking terrible.
I drank it all. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, I don't know what to respond with, except that's terrible.
How is that terrible? I drank it.
Okay, well, at least it got drank and didn't get spilled down the drain or anything, because that would have been very terrible.
You hush your mouth over there.
Well,
Hush your mouth while you're talking to me.
That doesn't work
does,
at any level.
Welcome, Owl, to Tied Up Tuesday.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Freaking glad you're here to join us.
Indubitably.
Indubitably.
Watching my little nest above.
Little vestibule of what?
I'm not really sure.
My little nest from above.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Kaz has jokes. He keeps going, who?
Well, it's Kaz, and that's probably his best joke he's had in like forever.
Well, he is the station's like stepdad, so he's got to throw in the dad jokes every so often, right?
Yeah, but they're not even good bad dad jokes. That makes it worse.
Don't beat up the dad.
Great Cloud's a dad. He can beat him up.
Yeah, my dad beat up your dad.
Oh my god.
Want to get into the playground stuff already, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe.
This is how it works. Gloves come off on this show.
Pretty quick too. It spirals out of control in a hurry.
Yeah, it really does.
It really does. But so, and then in honor of International Whiskey Day, I am having a 18-year-old Macallan.
Ooh,
it's delicious.
Bitch, you so fancy.
At least she's of age, right?
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. At least she's of age.
Another scotch.
Good catch on that.
Hey, I'm not that old.
Oh my goodness. So, how's your guys' week been? Great Cloud, I haven't talked to you in like a week.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week. Work is going, school is school.
Did you get furloughed?
No, motherfuckers.
No free vacation.
No free vacation. Oh, I was planning. Oh man, I had things to do and people to see.
What did you plan?
I was gonna head out to Vegas.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was
spend big money.
No, I go with a budget and I know what I like to play. So.
What kind of responsible person goes to Vegas with a budget?
Well, this one, obviously, because I got to come back to work.
I'm going to go to Vegas, but I'm going on a budget.
Yes. So, no, I was ready to go to Vegas. I had the ticket reserved because you can do that through like United.
Oh, nice.
You lock in the price and the fare for like $7 or something. And I waited for the budget. And then my boss sent me one email saying, be prepared to sign this. And then a couple hours later, he sent me another email and laughed at my ass saying, no vacation.
Sucks to suck, nerd.
So I was like,
dare to dream, right?
You should have just.
Oh, I was ready to go.
You should have just like called out sick.
Yeah, I probably would have broadcast from there. Mm-hmm. Taking my laptop, broadcast from my hotel room. My jacuzzi.
Your jacuzzi. Oh, so you're like a baller on a budget when you go to Vegas?
No. I wish. Jesus, that'd be awesome. But yeah, no. So the budget, fucking the budget.
Oh God. Y'all, we are 8 minutes into the show, and I've already triggered Great Cloud.
We will get to it later, but the fucking budget's a nightmare and a joke.
The fucking budget.
Fuck. Did you read every page of it?
No, but there's 2,232 pages of it to go through. I do know my agency is mentioned, but there's no specific amount attached to our agency's line item. I will say that.
Well,
so,
whether that's good or bad.
Right?
It depends on how you look at it. But yeah, so there's that, and then we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about the budget later. But other than that, my weekend was good.
Did you learn things?
Huh?
Did you learn many things at school?
No, it all hurt my head. So we'll just deal with that later.
What are you majoring in again?
It's an executive MBA, a master's of business administration.
So what do you want to do when you grow up?
Right? Yeah.
I want to be done in my line of work and do something else.
I want to be done.
I want to be done. I want to do something else.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Friggin'.
So.
Please don't ask me what I want to be when I grow up, because I'm still trying to figure that shit out.
Who says we have to fucking grow up? Seriously.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Well, my feelings are as long as you're paying your own way, you'll get there when you get there.
Right? Exactly.
True.
Friggin', what about you, Owl? How have you been?
Well, thank you. I've actually been doing good, busy, now that I'm actually pulling myself out of retirement, kicking and screaming.
Right, damn it!
I would do that.
I've between figuring out computers and signing up for holistic fairs and getting ready to being co-hosting, I've busier than I have been in a very long time.
But that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. It's just new to me. Going from sleep, barely being able to crawl out of bed and physically being incapable of doing more than sitting on the couch to where I'm actually running around all over the place. That's really different.
But it sounds good though.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. It's just like I said, it's been a long time. Mm-hmm. I appreciate the fact that I'm getting that. I've got that much energy going.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of scary sometimes.
That's awesome.
I mean, the funny part is my wife even mentioned my hyperactivity's coming back. I'm actually ADHD. And when I was retired out and medically, everything kind of went away. All my energy went away. I mean, when my wife met me, I was sleeping 2 and 3 times a day.
Oh, hell yeah. Naps are awesome.
Mine were exhaustion naps.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. But now, hey, all of a sudden I got this energy and she's going, yeah, I can see the hyperactivity.
Exhaustion naps. I can understand that a little bit.
Right? Yeah. I can too.
Yeah. In fact, anybody who's done our line of work can fathom that exhaustion naps.
Right?
Man,
Yeah.
You gotta walk that line though with the nap, because you don't want to sleep too much, because then you're all fucked up.
Well, and that's just it. Is even when I slept, I there was no such thing as sleep for me. There was too much pain. So it is what it is, and I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, I'm actually, getting into things and starting to enjoy life again.
That's awesome.
Good.
Shoot, we're setting up our camping schedule and our vacation this year.
Nice.
What the hell's a camping schedule?
Right?
They have a military resort out near the Air Force base that I'm by, and on the lake. And you call in on a specific date, and you line up all the days you want to go out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I have a 28-foot fifth wheel, and we go out there for a couple days, about anywhere between 5 and 10 times in the summer, just to break free of all electronics and huddle up in a nice, tight and big camper and cuddle up. And if it's raining out, hey, we can throw in Big Bang. We can throw in all sorts of shows. And if it's nice out, we'll go for some walks and just hold hands.
Aww.
Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Shut up, Gray Cloud.
You make s'mores?
Hey, I'm on my 4th wife. I've got to do it right at this point.
Oh, wow.
Dude, you and Ice, man, are collecting wives like it's nobody's business. Like, I think y'all are in a competition.
Yeah, I know. I kind of laugh between the two of us. I mean, between the fact we're both up in the years, and we both have wives, and we both, we had a lot to talk about that we were agreeing upon. It's kind of sad.
Right? Like, I'm about to get like my first like official ex-husband, and I'm kind of like, oh, hey, I get to join the divorcee club now.
Welcome to the divorcee.
Right? Yeah.
It's a gay club.
I feel like there needs to be some sort of like party though to like initiate me back into like being legally like single.
As long as you don't end up in Vegas not single.
Right? Ooh, that's
No. We will protect her if she goes to Vegas. One of us buy a ticket to ensure that doesn't happen.
Right? We got to bring Kaz with us. Best stepdad ever.
you and what was it, the nuclear green eggs?
Oh my god, no, they're radioactive green.
There we go, radioactive eggs. Yeah,
they were like Captain's chicken but eggs, so like the precursor to Captain's chicken. Because you know how y'all fucking know that MRE, the chicken in that fucking MRE and Captain's chicken was fucking green.
Country Captain Chicken was gross.
No,
it's probably the worst MRE ever made.
So then
the omelet was green.
Yeah, see, exactly. So they probably got the same eggs that they had at this Denny's. I'm telling you, it's a thing.
Well, it's interesting radioactive eggs because in your line of work, people do have to consume radioactive eggs when they have to go through like an MRI or some other contrast garbage thing MRI.
No. They just inject the radioactive dye inside you. It's fine.
Yeah, I've been through that.
You can eat eggs too.
That's disgusting.
Very disgusting. They offered me food, and I went, just give me the needle.
Right? Yeah.
It takes longer though to do the eggs.
Yeah, fuck that. Exactly. I agree with Owl, and I hate needles. I might be covered in tattoos.
You and me both.
But I
shoot,
hate
when you were in the
needles.
court, did you ever have a chance to go for your EFMB?
No, because I'm not an actual medic.
Oh, that sucks.
So.
See, we actually had Surge Tech assigned to a support battalion main in an infantry division.
See, like, they can go.
Yep.
Because,
Yep.
They're out in a field unit. Those of us who are in MedCom, they're constantly pushing all the medics, which makes up a whole company pretty much just by themselves.
Oh, I know. I was a psych
Yeah.
tech.
Yeah.
My medic was always, oh, you're not a medic, you're a psych tech. Okay, fine. Then when it came time for to rotate me, oh, now you're a medic.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I went through that, and they accidentally assigned me to an infantry division.
Yeah.
Hey, oh no, I learned a lot of good lessons. I got my EFMB badge, all sorts of stuff. I actually did not mind it.
Nice.
They actually were fascinated with the fact that a psych tech was in an infantry division by my lonesome.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lordy. What about you? How was your week?
How was my week?
How was your weekend?
Let's see. So, the weekend I was actually in Florida, which is why I was not here for Friday's show. So I was in Florida. I got a little bit of a sunburn. Not gonna lie, I did.
Do we have to worry about hearing anything on the news about you?
No, I behaved myself, and Cause was not there to make sure I behaved.
You didn't have that fallback, so you watched yourself.
Exactly. I was like, nobody's here to offer bail money. I've got to behave. And then, let's see. Today I got super hangry at work.
You don't get hangry.
Oh, the fuck, I don't.
Angry or angry?
Hangry.
Angry.
Like if
hungry and angry.
Yeah. So, because I didn't eat fucking lunch, I was scrubbed in from 7 a.m. until 2:30, and I did not get a break to eat at all. I was starving. I was like, this is some bullshit. So I was very quiet when I got done with my case today, and mostly for the protection of everyone else around me. Because like if you look up hangry in the dictionary, you're gonna see like my face there and be like, oh yeah, no, don't piss her off. And then it's my birthday week.
Ooh, all right, how old? Come on.
I'm gonna be 32, right? Yes.
Wow. I think you realize you're more than 20 years younger than me. Oh God.
Yeah. It's great.
Pause, eyes. We're feeling old.
Yeah. But yeah, it's my birthday week. I turned 32 on Thursday.
Well, congratulations.
At 5:07 a.m.
Are we even going to see you on Friday, or are you going to still be recovering?
Oh, no. Okay. So this, the worst birthday ever. So I'm actually flying out to Phoenix on my birthday. So I get to spend I get to spend my fucking birthday in airports and on a goddamn plane. And I'm not excited about this, like, at all. Like, literally 2 years ago, I was in fucking Disneyland.
Well, what's the destination for?
Phoenix. I've got family out there. So I'm going to see.
Oh, so it's not bad.
little column,
Oh.
little column A, little column B. I do know that I have a fan out in like the Arizona area, like a big one, who he's proposed actually.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah. So I know he's out there.
So the question is, how long are you going to stay single?
Right? Oh my God. Right? That's the question. Like, really? Like, I know legally per Texas law, I cannot get remarried within 90 days of, like, having my divorce finalized. So I have to wait at least that long. Just kidding. I'll be waiting a lot longer.
So do we have prospects, and are we gonna go men, or are we gonna go women? Or, hey, these days you never know.
Do you know? That's a great question. No, like honestly, I'm thinking about like giving women a shot again. So
I won't go on that subject just because I've had to give that talk to some friends of mine who were little girls who sat there and told me how great that was. And I said, yeah, I remember dealing with the fact that you had to deal with women who were just as abusive as men.
Right? So, what's that face for, Gray Cloud?
Just thinking about the reception. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
At a lesbian wedding.
Be for days to keep us entertained.
Don't worry, I'll make sure that only like the hot lipstick lesbians are invited. Don't you worry.
And then don't tell Gray Cloud which ones they are. Let him guess.
Out in the back. Hang out in the back, drinking my scotch.
Oh my God. Terrible. Oh my goodness. Oh, holy shit.
What?
I'm
Did you fall?
Great Cloud.
Yeah, what's the matter?
You look like a bearded Mr. Clean. What happened? Have you undergone chemo recently? No, you can't have because your beard's still there. But your head looks like it's been fucking waxed, man.
He's been waiting to spring this on. You realize
right?
this?
I don't... Dude, you rendered me speechless. I looked down. I'm like, who the fuck is this cancer patient? Oh, wait, no. It's Gray Cloud.
He still has eyebrows.
Right? So, right? No, seriously, like, did you buff that shit out to, like, get it to gleam like that?
No, it's just it's just shaved.
Well, I don't know. Like, I've always wondered that. Like, guys with, like, who shave their heads and, like, are fucking bald, how do they fucking get their head to be so goddamn shiny? Like, do they have, like, a mini buffer and they're like, and, like, waxing that shit with turtle wax? Like, I don't know.
It's kind of like women. It depends on your skin.
Oh. Apparently, your bald head is a huge hit.
You're blinding us
in the fucking chat. David says, "Man Crush still has his ball tickler."
Wow.
Oh my God. Rob Barker says, "Get that man a bottle of turtle wax." This is amazing. So do you get these like little mini buffers at like Bed Bath & Beyond? Is that in the Beyond section?
I don't know. I don't use a buffer.
That's what she said.
Oh my God, that's amazing. When did you do this?
Today.
You've been waiting all night, haven't you?
Maybe.
Yeah. Fucking spring this shit on me. Mute kick.
I thought for sure you fell backwards or something.
Almost. I was like, wow, who the fuck is this? Who are you and what have you done with Grey Cloud? No, it looks good, dude.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Why did you shave your head?
Is he doing the woman thing where got to do something to change?
Dude, I do that all the time. Oh my god. I'm actually thinking about dyeing my hair purple tomorrow.
Why purple?
Because I can.
Okay.
Just like, why did you shave your head? Because you can.
Ken.
Try yellow.
Yellow? I don't look good as blonde.
No, I'm not talking blonde. Yellow.
No, I'd have to bleach my hair first in order to do yellow.
Okay.
Right? And so, like, it's already kind of, like, dyed on the ends from a fucking year ago when the last time I had it, like, professionally done. And so, like, at least down on the ends, the purple will show up. But yeah, yellow, not so much. Not with my dark hair. But, oh, yeah, no, I have done that before, though. I have literally bleached my entire head, and I about had an anxiety attack. The very next day, I bought black hair dye, and I dyed my hair back to it's, like, black. I was like, I can't do it.
See, when I got out, let me see. I grew a beard, mustache, let my hair grow, ended up with a ponytail, braided it.
Dude, I totally see you doing that. Because you're like a total hippie. So I see this. That's true.
I'm an old hippie, huh?
Yeah. Well, I didn't say old. I said total.
Oh, I'm thinking of that song, Old Hippie.
Friggin'. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, I can bring up songs that have you screaming. I was an 80s boy.
Oh my God. Yes.
I actually was a concert stage bouncer over in Europe when I was over there, and I actually saw the bands live and actually got to go out and party with some of them.
Really? God damn it. See, I'm going to do that next year. My podiatrist. Oh, that was the thing that fucking happened this weekend or this week. Is that the tickets for the 80s cruise next year went on sale, right?
Yeah.
And my doc, who goes like all the time, he was like, I'll buy your ticket and you can just pay me back. And I said, oh my God, okay. Like, twist my arm. Because like the tickets are expensive.
So you're going?
So, fuck yeah. Kenny Loggins.
Danger zone.
And he does the Caddyshack song, and
I'm all right.
Yeah, and Footloose.
Oh God.
So, hell yeah.
See, I was stationed over in Europe from 83 to 85, and there were some great bands that came out during that time over there.
Nice.
I mean, Tears for Fears. And that's when they started the whole concerts that went 2 and 3 days over there and as many as 12 bands.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Twisted Sister, Ozzy Osbourne.
Nice.
Blue Oyster Cult. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd have to pull out my iPod and just look at all the names.
Right. Be like, oh yeah, no, I saw them. Oh, saw them.
So I've seen those bands too when I do the History Channel History of Rock. Yeah.
That's right, you young whippersnapper. You think about that.
Oh my God. Freaking oh my God. Oh, speaking of like old people. Too
The witch speaks.
Don't die on me, Grey Cloud. So a North Carolina sheriff candidate pretty much says that he wants to kill gun owners who won't give up their guns.
And Okay, what's he going to kill him with?
Probably a gun. Weird.
Weird.
So on March 7th, Democrat sheriff candidate R. Daryl Fisher appeared in front of a Moms Demand Action meeting at the West Asheville, North Carolina Public Library. At the meeting, he professed support of common sense gun control laws. And now we find out he went much further. By common sense legislation, he means that he wants to see bans on full capacity magazines for both rifles and handguns, bans on any weapon used by the military, and upping the purchase age for all guns to 21. And he endorsed a whole slew of new restrictions and regulations on concealed carry. And what would he do if gun owners don't comply with the laws he'd like to see enacted? He advocated killing anyone who refused to surrender their weapons. Quote, "You've heard people say, you have to pry my gun from my cold, dead hands." He then shrugged his shoulders, shook his head back and forth, and then continued, "Okay."
Yeah, he later went back and said, "I was only joking, but yeah, okay, that's not that funny."
Right. Exactly. It's like, it was just a joke. Just a joke.
Yeah, there's so many wrong things with that statement. I mean, the constitutionalities of the way he's thinking about it. Oh, gives you a headache.
Well, so, he goes on in another article that I've got. He goes on to try to apologize about it, saying, "Unfortunately, a one-sentence clip from a meeting that has been taken out of context and circulated on social media with a false interpretation of what I actually said. Anyone who watches the video in its entirety can see the truth and understand that my response was reasonable. While I regret having made a joke that could be misinterpreted, I stand by my actual response." Well, you said okay, and people applauded you and cheered you.
Right.
And
therefore,
then there's that sign.
Right. And then there's this thing called perception is reality, which all three of us know very well,
yes,
based on time in the military. And there's something I learned in my trade is that people say, when they say just kidding, they're really not fucking kidding. They say that to cover up how they actually feel about something.
Oh yeah, they just realize they put their foot in their mouth is all.
Right. Oh, just kidding.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
So it's very, very interesting that he would say this and then try to apologize later after everybody cheered him on.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't mean it. Da, 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 da. Well, if you were in a red-leaning county that you were running for sheriff for, and it turns out, based on your research, that you had a good chance of winning because you're using that base to win, then why not play up to what they want to hear?
Oh yeah, everybody's doing it. That's all anybody is doing anymore. They're kissing up to their base to the point where it's sickening.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, that video that's out now where they're showing a bunch of sheep saying the march for, and they have all these sheep running through town, and you just want to sit there and go, yes.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what they fucking are, because you see all these videos of not mainstream media at these protests, and they're going up and they're trying to figure out why people are there. And they're being met with, what's the right phrase? Like resistance, like an almost hostile resistance at that. But no one can really voice why they're even there. All they know is that they think guns are bad, but they don't know which guns are the bad ones.
They don't know which guns are the bad ones. They really don't understand the Constitution in and of itself.
Yeah.
And when you start to actually get them to try to answer, they get hostile as a way to shunt the fact that they're caught in the deer in the headlight look.
Right? Like they just it's almost like laughable. And how they're so willing to gather and bitch and moan and complain and like, oh, we need to protect the fucking shit and motherfucker. I don't know. All I know is I've got these fucking signs up of all these kids. Like one of them, I don't understand how they're blaming the NRA when clearly it was the FBI who fucked up with this school shooting that happened in February.
It all goes back to they're a bunch of sheep. They're basically giving in to everything that everybody says rather than research themselves. I mean, if they had half a brain, they'd be going, okay, we're being used for someone else's agenda, and if we're so rebellious, maybe we need to look at that.
This is my favorite picture. It's apparently there were pro-gun activists at the anti-gun rallies. And my favorite picture of that is the one dude who's obviously a veteran, but he's holding up a sign that says, suck my dick. Favorite.
No, not you.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Not your favorite saying. No.
Yeah, that was my favorite sign. And then, this one hooker has a sign that says something along the lines of the teachers at Hogwarts are armed and students still died. Well, yeah, not as many though. Like, your argument is invalid, one, with that statement. Because clearly, if you read the goddamn books, you would realize that not as many kids died as they could have. Because, let's face it, Voldemort and the Death Eaters were on a fucking rampage. But I digress.
Go, broom, go.
Right? Yeah.
What's your house? Come on. What's your house?
Mine, it really depends on the day.
On the day.
Yeah, it really does. Because sometimes
sorted.
Okay, so when I'm a huge Harry Potter fanatic. So when I joined the Potterverse, at first, and they were like, "Oh, we're sorting you into a house to answer these questions." I got sorted into Slytherin first, and I was like, "No!" So I'm actually
You're an ambitious person.
I'm Slytherin. I'm not a bad person though. Everyone thinks Slytherins are the bad people, and we're not.
And that's yes, I like Harry Potter too. And it comes down to Slytherin. Not all Slytherins are bad. Slytherin was about ambition, and that's all it meant. Ambition can go good ways and bad ways.
Yeah, it's on how you use it.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I'll stand up for you.
You're a terrible person now.
Right? Oh yeah, and this one little kid's fucking here. Let me point the right way. Sign that says "Less guns, more rainbows." Sorry, kid. That's not how the world works.
Nope.
But I just think it's so fucking ironic that these people are out here carrying all these signs guns are bad and guns are dangerous, blah blah blah, while they were surrounded by weapons.
Yep.
How many police were sitting out there making sure that their rights to be protesting were being the fact that they were not being interfered with, they were being protected by guns.
Right. And then this one hooker, Real Men Use Fists.
Oh,
and I totally agree with Mindy Robinson. I'm not sure if you're advocating for taking away guns or if you're pro domestic violence at this point. What exactly are you trying to fucking tell me right now?
Are you against guns, or are you looking for a man with a wife beater shirt?
Right? You looking for a man who's gonna beat you if you burn the roast. Right?
I had that same question when I saw that. That was kind of interesting.
Right? But it's true though. I'm so confused. This just the fucking stupidity at these marches. Like, if you're gonna march against something, at least know what it is that you're opposing.
Well, and that's just it. They all have their own agendas. They really don't understand what they're really marching for, and they don't even realize that they're a pawn. Yeah. I'd love to sit there and say, do you realize who's really financing this and what their real agenda is to actually take your rights away, and you now have a lot of rights, and you even have the ability to eventually move up in the world and become a millionaire if you want to. But that's going to go away if you keep following this.
Right. But
what do I know?
Right? What do we know? But yeah, I don't know. Just these fucking... The marches are just ridiculous. And the worst part, though, is that they're using children as pawns, especially, like, young kids, right?
And well, are you ready for this? Zig? Come on, finish it.
What?
Zig? Heil.
Right?
That's the way it always starts. If you can't get the people to revolt on their own,
you get the kids involved.
There you go. Hey, I apologize. We're not supposed to be doing the whole tinfoil hat stuff.
Oh, no. This is a perfect show for that. Like, it's not as perfect as Saturday, but I'm all for conspiracy theories. Like, yeah.
Well, like, you know, that's just it. Part of being old is you do eventually see patterns, and then add on top of it the fact that I'm a shaman, and well, we do believe in the little men in the clouds.
Yeah.
I'm rife for conspiracy stuff. Come on, Great Cloud, join in.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Was it the 6:30 to Shelby?
No, it wasn't.
Shelby.
The train of thought. A train going thought. Bye.
No. So, no, it's.
I'm a wordplay person.
Yeah.
Am I throwing you off?
Nope. I'm good.
Okay.
But yeah. I'm so sick of these fucking kids.
Well, and the other question, why aren't they in school?
Right?
I mean, I know spring break kind of goes around here and there, but come on. At some point, you got to say, you know what? You're supposed to be in school learning stuff, kiddo.
Right, exactly. You should be in school. You should be learning something. Like exactly what Ice and I talked about last night is that they should be learning about why the Second Amendment is so fucking important to us.
Exactly.
Instead of trying to repeal something that they don't fully understand.
They should be being taught Constitution because obviously they haven't been.
Yeah. So.
I mean, if it really comes down to it, start in junior high, people.
They might have to. Friggin'. Oh, okay. Oh, you guys want to get into like conspiracy really quickly. Do I have a story for you?
Ooh, come on.
Mark Zuckerberg has decided to testify before Congress. So after repeated calls for him to do so, Zuckerberg has decided he will testify before Congress. A Facebook source tells CNN Money the 33-year-old CEO has come to terms with the fact that he will have to testify before Congress within a matter of weeks, and Facebook is currently planning the strategy for his testimony.
This can only go bad for all those social media outlets.
So the pressure from lawmakers, the media, and the public has become too intense to justify anything less. Facebook sources believe Zuckerberg's willingness to testify will also put pressure on Google CEO Sundar Pichai and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey to do the same. Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley has officially invited all three CEOs to a hearing on data privacy on April 10th. This means Washington, not London, will be the stage for the trial of big tech. Zuckerberg today turned down a request from British lawmakers to answer questions on the social network's privacy practices and will send 2 deputies instead. The forthcoming Capitol Hill drama is the culmination of the tech backlash that went mainstream last year. The perfect storm of political intrigue and media hype surrounding the hearings has the potential to radically change the way Americans view big tech. Facebook has been enduring a crisis of trust ever since it was revealed that Cambridge Analytica, a data firm with ties to President Donald Trump's 2016 election campaign, reportedly accessed information from about 50 million Facebook users without their knowledge. Facebook now faces a Herculean effort to restore public trust and its commitment to privacy and data protection, sources from the company have told CNN. The scandal also highlights a problem that is built into the company's DNA. Its business is data exploitation. Facebook makes money by, among other things, harvesting user data and sharing it with app developers and advertisers. Preventing those buyers from passing that data to third parties with ulterior motives may ultimately be impossible.
I only see this going 2 ways. Because if you think about the big picture, okay, here he is. He's going to go in. He's trying to coax the others to go in. Now, Congress is going to go down on him. You know they are. They're going to sit there and say, it wasn't just Trump. Okay, how long have you been doing this? Okay, so then you go back and you sit there and you go, okay, everybody's been involved. Everybody gets a bad you. And then they're going to try to paint the social media as the bad guy. And they're going to put more restrictions on it and make it so it's even harder to get real information. And we have to go back to watching TV. Think about what they've been doing to WTF Nation Radio. Okay? This can only get worse.
No, I don't think so.
What do you mean, Grey Cloud?
If anything, it's a good thing. Minus, MZ's impending suicide. Love HC. It's interesting that he's willing to testify before the U.S. Congress, but he's not willing to testify in front of the British Parliament on 2 counts. One, he'll testify here in the U.S. where he's protected by U.S. law because he is on U.S. soil and a U.S. citizen. If he were to leave and go and testify in front of the British Parliament, if they were to charge him there, he would not be able to leave because they would detain him until he could be tried and either found guilty and or innocent. So it's a smart move that he's willing to not go to London to testify in front of the British Parliament. The second part is, if anything, it'll bring to light everything that's going on with all social media platforms, to include YouTube, ABC Inc., Snapchat, everything else that's out there, and the way they're trying to manipulate data. And maybe we'll just see where this rabbit hole goes when it comes to everything, tying everything back to, i.e., the Russian collusion and their attempt to influence the American populace on the way they should vote in the 2016 election, because they did not interfere. Interference implies that they actually tampered with voting booths and voter intimidation. They merely put data out there to try and sway the American voter, just like any other campaign does against their opponent. However, because it's a foreign entity, it is looked at in a bad light. So if you really get down to the nuts and bolts of this, it's going to be a good thing. And hopefully a lot of the shadows will come out in the light, and we'll know what the fuck is actually going on.
I'll go with that. That's, I mean, what I put out there is my conspiracy stuff, but what you're saying, I actually hope it does go that way. I think that would be the best outcome.
Well, I agree.
I mean, when you think what you're saying, I agree with, because in the fact that, and I'm never that hard into something where I can't look at the other side. And what you're saying, I enjoy, because it would be nice if we could get everybody to open up and look at the truth and actually see it for what it is. There are still going to be people out there who will still try to glom on to things and not see the whole truth, but at least the truth will be out there.
Right. Now, that all depends on him being able to actually make it to his testimony date.
You mean the Hillary suicide?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Yes.
What?
Oh my God. Yes. Oh, yes. Owl. Yes. Now you're speaking my type of conspiracy theory. I am all about, and it's fucking true. And every one of you fucking knows it, that anyone who goes against the Clintons ends up dying early of suicide of natural causes.
Oh yeah, it's kind of a precursor to, okay, sure. Do you have your affairs in order? Sure. Okay, I want to say something against Hillary. Bye.
Oh, and you're dead.
No, I agree. I mean, the conspiracy theories, I mean, I had friends talking about stuff like this back before Obama about Hillary. I mean, we're talking, they were sitting there quoting stuff like this saying, hey, did you notice this person died? And they were a part of Hillary's this. Mm-hmm. And this was even back when she was running up against Obama.
So here's my, and I would hope he'd be smart enough to do this. Like, if I'm getting ready to go testify in front of Congress and reveal a whole bunch of fucking dirt and all the shit that I've got collected because of what my company's capable of doing, I'd set that shit up on like a dead man switch. Dead man's hand, as it's known in from the Cold War era. For those of you who don't know what the dead man's hand is, Russia, if Russia were to, the Russian fucking command authority were to all die, right? There is a failsafe that they had that would launch their nuclear weapons against all the predetermined targets here in the U.S. So it didn't matter if we killed their command authority, they would still launch a counter nuclear attack against the United States.
Their way of saying, don't take off the head of the snake.
Right. So my thing would be, he would set something like up at that. If something did happen to him, that all that data would dump in hours after his demise. Bless his heart.
Well, here's the other fun part. If I were him, I would do what you talked about, but then I'd go one step further and I'd go buy myself a whole bunch of hillbillies with them guns that he's against, and go out in the bayou and hide until it's time. I mean, come on. Who's going to look for him around a bunch of guys with guns? He's supposed to be against them.
Mm-hmm.
Send them into Louisiana. Send them into the bayou. Send them into Cajun territory.
Oh my God.
What's that stuff called, Facebook? I never heard of that stuff. But you got money? Hey, we'll take care of you.
We'll take care of you real good.
Oh my God.
Hey, I was stationed in Georgia. I had friends who were Cajun. I know how to do. I know the laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Am I suspicious of sound, mister?
Oh my God.
You suspicious of a banjo in the background?
Oh wait, no. Oh, wait, no, I've got it. Yes, here we go. You guys ready for this? I know you guys can't hear it, but everyone else can.
Okay.
It was the dueling banjos.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. But
Hey, well, an owl sits up in the tree, listens to everything, sees everything, and has his own little sense of humor.
And gets blasted out of the tree by a shotgun?
no one hunts owls.
Okay.
Honestly, who the fuck hunts owls? That's weird.
Have you been in the South before?
I live in the South.
You live in Texas.
Yeah, that's the South.
Live in Texas. I know what South he's talking about, and they'll eat anything that moves.
Oh, like country, like straight up, like marrying your kinfolk country South.
Marrying your kinfolk.
How south are we going?
Possum pie.
But all right, y'all, it is time for our break. And when we come back, it'll be me and Great Cloud and Owl, and we are going to be talking about, what do you guys want to talk about?
Oh, there's some good stuff, but Asian Cartman sounds good.
Ooh, Kim Jong-un, the Asian Cartman. We're going to talk about him. All right, y'all, hang tight, and we shall be back here.
Gotta get it together, I gotta stay in tune. Same time's against me, but I hate to rush. Gotta keep it between the lines until I hit the dust. I gotta buy some time. The key to freedom lies across the state line. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again. Driving on the road to nowhere. My mouth is blurry and my vision's dry. I'm looking at the world again through bloodshot eyes. It's a daily ritual, this game I play. In the life of a shadow man with a debt to pay. Hit the gravel with my hand on the radio. Here I am again, driving life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere, but I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere. Like this life that I lead, it might not take me anywhere, but I was born to travel along this lonely road to nowhere.
Broadcasting live from the basement of a Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Welcome back to part 2 of Tied Up to... I almost said Friday Night Freedom.
You're sleeping enough.
No, I'm not. But it's Tied Up Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
Apparently, I think it's Friday.
Well,
okay. So some of the music that we listened to over the break was my little brother, who I'm actually going to be seeing this weekend while I'm in Arizona. And I'm going to be harassing him for new music.
Of course you are, because you're a loving sister.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. Be like, listen here. You.
Music now.
Music now. I've been asking for it for a while, and he keeps sending me just his link to his SoundCloud page, and I'm like, I don't know how to fucking rip this off of here. Just Dropbox it to me. Come on, man.
Words are important. You want to download it.
To what?
Ripping off sounds like you are stealing.
Well, I mean, tomato a dildo.
So I wanted to touch on something as we started to transition. There was something I wanted to really throw out there. Is we're talking about the marchers and the Second Amendment and all this other shit they want to talk about, right? Okay, so if you've been living under a fucking rock today, there is a former Supreme Court justice who wants to throw out the idea of actually repealing the Second Amendment, right? And there are people who want to get behind this and think it's a good idea and whatnot and blah, 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 right? Got it. Our Constitution was written. It's a living, breathing document. That's how it was written. It can happen. However, the ratification of such an amendment, because that's the only way you can repeal an amendment, is to strike it with another amendment. Let's really think about what that takes, okay? You need to get it. You need to get through the Congress, and not just a simple majority. No, 2/3 of both houses have to certify this amendment. And then it needs to be ratified by 3/4 of the states. Ratified, i.e. making approval, right? So repealing an amendment with another amendment isn't as easy as everybody makes it sound, right? You can demand all this fucking change you want. You can do all this other shit. But let's be real about the process and what it actually would take to repeal an amendment. You have to do it with another amendment. And if you're not aware of how our Congress works, look at the recent fucking budget. How long has it taken them? It's taken them 6 fucking months to figure out a budget. And now we've got 6 months left of budget. Do you actually think this Congress can accomplish jack shit? No, they couldn't. They couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper fucking bag.
I mean, you don't know that.
Horse shit, I don't. They passed a $1.3 trillion budget, 2,232 pages long, and half of them probably don't even know what the fuck's in it. Hell, for all we know, dog, the POTUS could have slipped in his fucking wall funding or whatever. Somebody could have slipped some shit in there. And you don't know what you voted for because you just wanted to be done because you wanted to appease your constituents and get a fucking budget passed.
You want to look like you're doing something.
Well, if you want to be effective, fucking the budget should be, i.e. funding the government. And if you want all this other funding shit, pass those bills later. Fund the fucking government. Make sure we can run. Oh, and last time I checked, nation, this is a democratic republic, not a fucking democracy. Again, going back to Minx's point earlier and Al's point earlier, fucking learn this shit in school. Stay in school. Don't walk out and do these fucking marches and I want to walk out and da-da-da-da-da. Fuck that. Learn what needs to be learned so you can be smart and educated and you can make informed decisions. At this point, I'm all for raising the age to 21 to vote. Why? Because you're obviously demonstrating you don't have the wherewithal to learn what's needed to learn to be an informed citizen, to make an important decision in the voting booth. So fuck you all who want to repeal the Second Amendment. And last time I checked, I'm going to quote something here real quick for myself. Pull it up. 5 U.S. Code, Section 3331. Go look it up. There is no expiration date.
Schooled.
Wait, expiration date for what?
Look it up.
Wait, what?
All right. I'll educate the nation. U.S. Code Section 5 U.S. Code Section 3331 is the oath of office for commissioned officers and warrant officers. When you take that oath, there's nothing in state and or law or statute or law or codified federal regulation that says that oath has an expiration date. And that's why you always see that in my oath of enlistment, my oath of office never doesn't. That's why you see all those shirts, because in law, there's actually no end to that oath. And that's why you see that phrase all the time.
In other words, you're still in E4.
Fuck yeah.
You're still part of the mafia.
Dude, I will always be part of this goddamn mafia.
Yeah, for life.
Yeah, indefinitely. Always part of the E4 Mafia. Hell yeah. I know how to sham.
The best of us do, right?
I mean, yeah. And then what do you do if you get caught? Deny everything and then counter accuse.
That's right. Deny, counter accuse.
Yeah. Duh.
It's funny how they say there's a 3% of the population, United States population, served to protect the rest, and yet we seem to be the ones that are more educated than the rest.
And here's my thing on that. Everybody, and you see this argument all the time about the AR-15. Okay, fucking
the scary
idiots.
gun.
So, here's my argument on that, right? Everybody wants to bitch. Oh, you can't fight the Army's got planks. Wow, that's impressive. Where's my Gulf? We have planks now. Plane tank combination. The military has tanks and planes and drones and machine guns and missiles and all this other shit. You can't possibly fight that. Well, let me educate you, nation, and let me educate you, fucking Tide Pod eaters. Okay, if we look at Afghanistan, Iraq, Vietnam, Korea. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. And in the Revolutionary War, we were up against the largest, most powerful, advanced army in the world.
And we kicked their ass.
Muskets and shit like that at the time. Well, you know what? Motherfucker, if you actually believe that the rebellion could not get their hands on what they fucking needed, you are sadly mistaken. I don't know about y'all, but I know some fucking 92, where are they? 92 Yankees who could give me some shit if I needed. How hard would it be to overrun an AHA and shit like that, right? Fuck. If you actually think we couldn't get what we need, you are sadly mistaken. If push comes to shove, we can make it happen. But nobody wants to believe that. Everybody wants to believe that the actual military, our brothers and sisters in arms, would totally turn on everybody. Yeah, there would be a division. Okay, it'd be like any other war. There's always going to be division. But you know what? To think that the smaller side, the side against tyranny, couldn't get what they fucking need, you are sadly mistaken and delusional. We made it happen in the Civil War, in the Revolutionary War. Both sides got what they needed in the Civil War, obviously. And we've been held off with fucking IEDs and small arms rifles in 3 other fucking countries. 4.
You don't think we haven't learned from that? Hell, we can be just as bad as those guys if we had to be.
We would be. That's the problem. That's what nobody wants to understand. That's what nobody wants to understand, is that we could make this fucking shit happen in a heartbeat. If we truly felt it needed to happen, it would happen.
And we'd have more supporters than anybody realizes. How many of those guys, how many of us are now serving in law enforcement? How many of us are in the National Guard and Reserves? That's who they're going to be calling up.
And how many of those people would actually turn against their family and or brethren? Now, again, don't get me wrong. There would be divisions. There always is, because you just don't know how somebody's going to side, or how they see right and wrong, or where they judge those sides. But it would be bad, and it would be brutal. But if you really think we couldn't get what we needed, you are wrong. End of story. Thanks a lot, Minx.
For what? I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I let you rant.
You did.
I did.
But you,
maybe. Come on, guys, rant count.
Oh, I see you added soda to your whiskey.
No, that's this is Imperial Ales. Sorry, this is Peg Leg Imperial Stout.
Oh.
It's actually delicious.
Oh.
I'll go back to whiskey in the third hour. All right, now to a real topic at hand, because I find this very interesting. Mystery train rumored to carry Kim Jong-un leaves China after secretive stay. Do you guys have this article? Hold on, let me drop this article in the room. So that way we can all look at and garner at the same article, because we all love Googling the same shit. Boom. Okay. A mysterious and heavily guarded 21-car train that chugged into China's capital Monday, bringing with it rumors that North Korea's despot Kim Jong-un was aboard, departed Tuesday just as suddenly as it arrived, and bound for destinations unknown. Kim was identified as the likely VIP passenger after North Korea watchers noted the green diesel with the yellow stripe down the side looked just like the trains that ferried the despot's late father to meetings in China and Russia, and on which Kim Jong-il eventually died of a heart attack. Wow, would you really want to be on that train if your dad died of a heart attack? Our government is trying to thoroughly grasp the related situation, including whether the reports are true, a South Korean foreign ministry official said, according to Yonhap News Agency. Whether Workers' Party of Korea Chairman Kim Jong-un's visiting China has not been verified. The train entered Beijing's Central Station Monday night with unusual heavy security, and after other trains were heavily delayed so as not to interfere with the mystery train's arrival. On Tuesday, a slew of photos and videos showed a motorcade of black limousines waiting at the train station and Chinese soldiers on the platform, suggesting a high-level official was aboard. By the afternoon, a vehicle convoy led by a motorcycle escort headed to the station. Shortly afterward, the train left. If Kim was a passenger, it would align with the behavior of his father, who was spotted on a similar train in 2011, heading to Beijing. He made about a dozen trips abroad, almost all to China, and all by train because he loathes flying. Well, yeah, I would too. I mean, there's a good fear of being shot out of the sky by somebody who doesn't like you.
Right.
Kim Jong-il had a panache for a playboy lifestyle and is said to have decked the train out for lavish parties, during which he engaged in bouts of heavy drinking and sang karaoke.
Sure, that's all.
If that doesn't have Asian written all over it, I don't know what does.
It's true. They do love the karaoke.
Love the karaoke. Oh my God.
Stereotypes exist for a reason, so it's not racist.
It's yeah. So now, spending time in Japan, there's a shit ton of karaoke bars, and there's always alcohol at them, and it's always a good time. Just saying. Just saying. The train generally 90 carriages that contain bedrooms, conference rooms, and a chamber equipped with satellite phones and flat screen televisions. Had cases of Bordeaux and Beaujolais wine flown from Paris. Konstantin Pulsky, a Russian official who accompanied Kim Jong-il on a 3-week trip to Moscow in 2001, said in an account published in 2002. Kim Jong-il can be called a gourmet, Plovsky wrote, adding that live lobster and pork barbecue were included in feasts. It was possible to order any dish of Russian, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and French cuisine. The train cars are reportedly bulletproof, making them heavier than normal carriages and much slower when traveling. According to a 2009 report by Chosun Ilbo, the train travels at an average speed of 37 miles an hour. That's a slow-ass train for that part of the world. Just saying.
No kidding.
The story continues. Nation, this story is on Fox that I found. I find it interesting with the alleged pending talks between us and between the POTUS and Asian Cartman that he would go to China ahead of this and have a one-on-one meeting.
Got to check in with mommy and daddy.
You go back to the 6-party talks, right?
Yeah.
He didn't want to be a part of that. He wanted, his father rather, wanted to have one-on-one dialogue with the U.S. only. And Minx and I kicked this around a couple weeks back saying that it would be very interesting if there was an open invitation from one way or the other. And now it's kind of starting to happen with the supposed date somewhere in May. The location to be determined yet.
So you think China's trying to keep the reins on him?
No, but I think they might be positioning themselves in case they need to help step in if it is needed between the U.S. and North Korea. I firmly believe, again, if the balloon goes up on the peninsula, China will back off, and all they're going to do is make sure that we don't push across the North Korea-Chinese border. Oh, and to keep refugees from flowing into China. Thoughts?
Well, I can see what you're saying. I do agree that the possibility is there that yeah, they're trying to make sure that Kim Jong-un is ready for what he's going to be up against. But then the question is it that, or are they being their normal paranoid self, and are they worried that he's going to do something against them? I mean, there's always that chance, because who is the one who actually asked for this?
North Korea did.
Exactly.
Well, okay, so Minx, get your tinfoil hat ready.
Oh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
So we know what the North is capable of, right? So we've seen Kim Jong-un order the execution of his half brother via VX nerve gas. The current story that Russia has used nerve gas to attempt the assassination of a former double agent in the UK. So obviously, nerve agent is not an issue for anybody at this point in time in the world. Two powers have used it effectively at this point. So what's to say that he doesn't attempt something there? And who's to say that there wasn't another party at this meeting?
Ooh.
There you go.
Okay.
Good call.
There's your tinfoil.
I like your tinfoil hat.
Think about that, though. I mean, the left hand is showing you, oh, the green train is moving. Yeah, he's probably on there, right? And going to a meeting. Who else is there, though? Who else? We don't know. Obviously, because, well, let's face it, getting information out of those two countries is damn near impossible. But it could be very, very interesting come May if this meeting happens, and when it happens, and where it happens.
The big one is where.
Here, let me throw this to you. So there's been a couple of locations kicked around. One being Switzerland, because the Swiss represent our interest in North Korea, because we don't have an actual consulate there. Two is the I don't know what the actual the name of the building is, but it's the one that sits on the border at the DMZ between the two Koreas. The other has been Kim being invited to the White House, which would be really weird. So, and then here's the other problem is Kim is a head of state, right? So there are certain protocol and certain things that happen with the head of state that usually don't happen with Joe Schmo, i.e. security, the scrutiny of security when you go to these meetings. There's some more tinfoil hat for you. Ooh. What if Kim was willing to sacrifice himself?
Oh, I could see that. Even if he doesn't, even if it just makes it look like. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't tell me he doesn't have a double, because every paranoid leader out there has one.
That would be Oh wow! Send his double in.
I mean, come on. Every paranoid leader I've heard of has a double, either by they're close enough or they're surgically altered.
That's true. I've heard that too. Louis the 18th tried doing that same thing too, right?
What?
Louis the 18th, I think, tried doing that as well to avoid himself. Wait, is it Louis the 18th that got his head fucking guillotined? I'm trying to think now. Shit.
Well, I know
The one
Saddam
who-
had
wait.
a double.
The one who was married to Marie Antoinette.
Yeah.
Yes, they were both guillotined.
Okay.
How do I know that? I didn't even take French.
One of those things you heard when you were in surgery when you were talking trivia.
No, I'm pretty sure I learned it somewhere in history.
No, she doesn't talk trivia. She listens to 90s on 9, 80s on 8, depending on the day.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a caller.
Ooh.
Right? Let's see. WTF Nation Radio, you are live on the air. Who is this?
Hello. It was Henry VIII that he's talking about, and the guillotine broke, and they had to push the guillotine through his head.
On Henry VIII?
Yes.
Wait, like the Tudor king?
It was Henry VIII that got guillotined, and the guillotine broke. The blade didn't go fully through because it was a dull blade, and people had to push it down. He was still alive when the blade was going through his jaw.
1, that's impressive. 2, thank you for the clarification.
We just studied that in my little college course I'm going through.
Oh my
but
God.
I wanted to talk about Gray Cloud. Hey man, the North Korea and China, they're in talks right now because if what Fox News is saying right now is Donald Trump is looking to officially end the Korean War and sign a peace treaty. And if that happens, China will officially become an enemy of either Russia or the U.S. because they have to choose a side.
Well, seeing as how China has, I forget the number, a good chunk of our fucking debt, I don't see them becoming an enemy of us.
Don't worry about the national debt because the United States of America actually stockpile its oil, and I know for a fact because I know people who work at the facility that stockpiles said oil, that we have enough oil to pay off that debt, and if Donald Trump wanted to push the button, he wouldn't have to throw a nuke to ruin the world. He could just put all that oil back to the market and destroy every country and make them go bankrupt.
God, that'd be awesome.
Watch the fire burn.
Like literally, if he put all the oil that we have stockpiled into the market right now, gas will be 5 cents.
Wow.
I'm studying to become get my doctorate in economics. So
You have a tinfoil hat on. You do really well.
Oh, that's one. That's awesome, and 2, I could use some 5-cent diesel.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
So yeah, it's that whole national debt thing is just and all it is. China only owns our debt is because the Federal Reserve. That's why I'm with Rand Paul on ending the Fed. The Federal Reserve loans us money, and that money we give back an IOU to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve sends the IOU to the World Bank, and China wins it by auction. So they technically don't own. All they do, it's pretty much how a bank sells your loan to Wells Fargo. But don't worry, that national debt and all that is all bullshit. Welcome to the world of fiat currency when nothing backs the dollar.
No, again, what backs the dollar is the Americans people's faith in the dollar.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be oil, hence why it's called the petroleum dollar. And that's another thing is everybody with a Rothschild family-owned Federal Reserve Bank, if all that oil gets dumped, the dollar will shoot down as well because oil prices will go down. And that's why before Trump would do it, as if I was Trump, I would be like, for day one, oh, we're going back to the gold standard. Day two, release the oil.
Oh well, that's how we fucked the Saudis. It's true.
Well, the reason why we got off the gold standard was Nixon did it because he found out that the Federal Reserve was printing more money than gold, than we had gold, and then other countries started finding out. And then Nixon nixed the gold standard and said, no, we're going to this new fiat currency. He buckled to the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand is just because that federal is in front of it, the United States government has nothing to do with the Federal Reserve. They only put federal because it owns everything in the nation. It's kind of like those stupid companies that are allowed to put VA in front of it because most of their customers are veterans, but they're just fucking people. They have nothing to do with the VA.
Interesting.
All right, well, I'm going to go back to playing video games and listening to you guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Yes,
Yeah, no kidding. That's a good lesson.
Right? It was good.
I'm a tinfoil hat economist, so
Yes.
I love money. I love everything about money.
I love
Bye.
it. All right, bye.
Dang. That kind of shuts us up for a minute.
Right? Like,
Very interesting thought. I mean, holy shit.
I was going to be a smart aleck and say, come on, break out into Henry VIII I am.
Yeah, no.
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 That was good.
That's good. That was awesome.
right? I love getting calls. Like, okay, so I like getting, like, legit people calling in and not fucking pranksters. I don't deal with pranksters very well. Save that shit for, Saturday show.
Yes, Saturday show is the best for that.
Right? Exactly.
Wow, so that's a good conversation.
It was.
It's awesome.
Ugh. Could you imagine, though, having a guillotine having to be forced through your fucking face?
Yeah. So much for the silent scream. Fuck that shit. Now you don't get to do. Now you don't get to take the pride in that part.
Right? Hurry up! We need people to lay down on the guillotine so it'll go through.
Some more weights.
Oh my god.
Well, as big as they said he was, imagine trying to cut through all that.
Ugh. Right? And Henry VIII was a big dude.
Jeez. All the visuals.
Right? Oh my god. Okay. But wait. Now I need to, I never studied, British history, so I need to figure out why Henry VIII was fucking guillotined. Because I know, the majority of his wives, he just had executed by, the friggin' axemen.
Right.
So why was he given a guillotine? And a dull one at that.
Because it'll hurt more.
Oh my god, could you imagine? His fucking, spinal cord would have been severed, so...
Yeah, but if it's going through your jaw, you're still feeling all those.
Right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, even if it goes through your spinal cord, you're not going to be able to breathe. You know you're not breathing. You're still alert.
Exactly.
And you're still feeling pain.
Exactly.
Right? That's the silent scream.
Oh. Dude, fuck that. Nope. Bless you.
Bless you.
We gotta do something about your video, Gray Cloud.
Is it bad?
Well, it's not bad. It's just like you sneezed, and then about 10 seconds later, I saw you sneeze.
Oh. It's a little behind on the FBL.
It's a little behind. Little.
Oh, yeah, I just watched myself sneeze. That's amazing.
You're even more further behind than me. I watched you sneeze a couple seconds ago. Let's everybody watch Gray Cloud sneeze.
Right. There we go. All right. I think you're back up to speed now. So let me get you back on there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, your man crush David called in.
Oh,
Dale said it was the peasants that killed Henry VIII.
It was the peasants that did it. Oh. See, I love learning new things.
In other words, it was his bad behavior.
Right.
Bad behavior gets you guillotined. Remember that, POTUS. Oh, wait, that's not how the U.S. works.
Right.
Feelings don't get you anywhere.
What? What do you mean they don't get me anywhere? Some bullshit.
They get you love and shit and heartbroken. But other than that, they don't get you anywhere.
There's the divorce.
Well, there's that too. But I mean, come on. Let's be real here.
Let's be real.
What do we want to cover in 15 mics?
I know you want to talk about this water park in Kansas.
Yeah. Because it's very interesting. So there was. So the story was published today, but in I forget when it happened, but I'll cover the story. So, Nation, if you're not aware, there's a water park in Kansas, Kansas City, Kansas, that their owners have now been charged with murder in the death of a 10-year-old boy. It's very interesting. So the article reads, it's from the Chicago Tribune, the article. Designer of deadly water slide, water park owner charged with murder and boy's death. A water park company co-owner accused of making a spur-of-the-moment decision to build the world's tallest water slide and rushing it into service, and a designer accused of shoddy planning were charged Tuesday, that's today, in the 2016 death of a 10-year-old boy who was decapitated the ride when the raft he was on went airborne and hit an overhead loop. Let that sink in. The Kansas Attorney General's office said Jeffrey Henry, 62, co-owner of the Texas-based Schlitzbahn Water Parks and Resorts, and designer John Schuley were charged with reckless second-degree murder and the death of Caleb Schwab on the 17-story ride Verrückt, a German word for insane. The indictment also charges them with injuries to 13 other people on the slide. Second-degree murder carries a sentence of 9 years to 41 years. The company that built the ride, Henry & Sons Construction Company, which is described as the private construction company of Schlitterbahn, also was charged. Henry was held in a Texas jail without bond Tuesday, pending extradition to Kansas. The Attorney General's office says Schuley is not in custody. Schuley didn't have a listed phone number, and no one answered the phone at Henry & Sons Construction Company. Eric B. Terry, who represented the company in an earlier unrelated case, didn't immediately return a phone or email message. The charge announced Tuesday bring to 3 the number, that's terrible writing of this paragraph, by the way, the number of people accused in Schwab's death. A Kansas grand jury last week indicted Tyler Austin Mills, the former operations manager of the Schlitterbahn Park in Kansas City, Kansas, on 20 felony charges. The charges include a single count of involuntary manslaughter in Schwab's death. Miles has been released on $50,000 bond, according to one of his attorneys, Tricia Bath. The story continues talking about the young child who was killed, who was the son of a Kansas Republican. Let's throw that out there. The one thing I want to cover, though, is let's see here. Oh, here it is. Mike Taylor, a spokesman for the Unified Government of Wyandotte County and Kansas City, Kansas, says it does not believe it has the legal authority to shut down a business other than for an epidemic or contagious disease outbreak. So the ride has been closed since the young boy was killed. Okay, Caleb Schwab. We'll use his name. But the park has remained open, and they haven't done anything with the ride itself. It is still intact. I drive by it all the time when I'm going to class, and I think that's because they're waiting for everything to happen in the trial. So it's interesting that this is the first time I've heard of anything like this, that a business owner is being charged in the death of a patron. The indictment listed 13 injuries during the 182 days the ride was in operation. 6 months is all the ride was in operation for, including 2 concussions. In one of those cases, a 15-year-old girl temporarily went blind while riding.
What the fuck?
All because the company that was in charge of the design didn't do the math correctly.
Right, and that's what they're saying, and that's, does that constitute reckless endangerment by a company and a business and the individuals who actually try to design it?
I can see going after him and saying, okay, yeah, you're right, did this, you are responsible for but at the same time, charging them with murder. I mean, unless they did it sat there and said, let's see how many people we can wipe out, right? Right. I have a hard time with that. I mean, it's sad for the child to die, but at the same time, it wasn't done on purpose. It's kind of like a design flaw. When companies have when you have the recalls because of a design flaw in a car, okay, people go back and sue the company, and they slap everybody on the hand. They get their fines, and they turn around and say, "Okay, we're done."
Right.
But nobody gets charged with murder.
And that's what I find the interesting part to be, is they want to charge them with second-degree murder, which is usually a reckless. Oh, hold on. I'm going to pull up the definition here. Let's see here. Murder, United States law, Wikipedia. That's sure. Let's use that. Second-degree murder, an intentional murder with malice afterthought, but is not premeditated or planned. That might be pushing it a stretch.
That's a stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew the ride after 13 injuries. They knew the ride was capable of doing damage.
Right. They would have been better off going after involuntary manslaughter, a killing that stems from a lack of intention to cause death, but involving an intentional or negligent act leading to death.
But again, then you go back to the thought, okay, we let car manufacturers get away with just slapping them on the wrist, giving them fines, and then people suing the hell out of them. So what's the difference?
I don't know. And that's again, I'm not sure about the second degree charge. Again, well, and then you look back at precedents on some of these things, right? I forget the case not too long ago. They went full bore. They went to try and get, I forget what they wanted. They wanted first degree murder. That's the charge they wanted. And they brought it before. That's what they charged this individual with. That's what they went to court with. and all said and done, after the wash, found not guilty of first-degree murder. And then you listen to some of those analysts or whatever you want to call them as they come out of the woodwork after the fact, and they all come to the conclusion that had they gone after a charge of like involuntary manslaughter or just manslaughter, they probably would have gotten the conviction because of the way those definitions are written and what is needed to prove that charge. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, I go, you're charging these individuals second-degree murder. Well, I hope you can prove that charge.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you would have to have some kind of memo saying, "Hey, by the way, we got these injuries, and someone could get killed, so we need to shut down the stuff," and they just didn't shut it down in time. Or they have someone saying, "Hey, did you get this? 13 people have gotten injured. We're getting all sorts of people saying this is a crazy ride. Let's keep going." Unless you got a memo.
Yeah, again, agreed. I don't think. Oh man.
Unless they're pending on the fact that social justice is going to kick in with some judge.
Well, one, I hope that doesn't happen because there's still a burden of proof that needs to happen to back the charge. I would really hope that social media would not weigh in on this.
Well, you and me both, but you know it's going to.
God, I hope not.
If the family, well, okay, they're Republicans, so who knows? But yeah, it kind of goes back and forth because if the family weighs in and they go out and they start smearing his face all over the place, then you know at that point they're either going to have to move it out of the area or.
Oh, here, let's throw this kicker in. The family settled $20 million.
Wow.
I want her. Let me confirm that because I know that's in the story. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn it, where's that at? I'm trying to whip through the story really quick. Damn it, I know I saw it earlier. But they have the 13 other cases, they have settled out of court. Oh, there it is. The family reached settlements of nearly $20 million with Schlitzer Bond and various companies associated with the design and construction of the water slide.
Well, and see that normally look at how car manufacturers get away with their stuff. Someone blows up, the brake went out, they blow up, and they go into someone, so on and so forth. That is economics telling you, okay, you're going to get your pantsuit off, so change it. But you never see them getting anything levied against them saying, okay, one of you is going to have to go to jail. Who? You just don't see it.
You don't. And Cause brings up a good point in the Facebook live chat. You go to a concert, there's a waiver statement written on the ticket itself that you agree by walking into the venue.
Exactly.
And purchasing the ticket and attending the venue, you've agreed to certain situations.
So again, you have to wonder, is this just to appease the family by doing the prosecutor appeasing the family by doing this because, okay, you said he's a Republican, so obviously he has some kind of pull somewhere. Is that saying, okay, well, I'll go ahead and prosecute?
Well, wow, that's an interesting thought because so you throw out a charge that based on the circumstances and based on what we're reading so far, again, we don't have all the evidence because we're not on either side. We're not the attorneys here. But you throw that out there, you look like you're doing the greater good, knowing, well, that the family's already settled. They want to put it to rest. If you settle, you want to put it to rest, right?
Exactly.
Obviously, they'll never let that riot operate again. They'll probably destroy it shortly after everything is done and said and done. So you throw out a charge, it's not premeditated. So you go with the best charge you can come up with that would bring the most pain, second-degree murder, knowing as the DA that it's going to be hard to get that conviction based on what you have to prove for second-degree murder. Jury comes back, says, not guilty of second-degree murder, case is done, everything goes away, and everybody goes about their business.
Exactly. You did your job.
Right.
And as far as the ride going away, well, 1, redo the math. 2, then you say, people have died on this ride. Ride it at your own risk.
Well, I don't think they could redo that ride because 13 individuals and multiple reports of rafts going airborne. Their math is severely fucked up. Well, let's say that. So they would have to tear it all down and be good and start over and probably not build anything similar in that location.
I agree. I'm thinking about the thrill seekers out there.
Oh, there would be that would happen, but you can't do that. And for the good of the city and for the good of the park and whatnot, sell it. Turn it over to somebody else, sell the park, cut your losses, and be done.
Oh, I agree with you. That's the smart thing to do.
It would be the smart business thing to do. Cut your losses, be done with it, turn it over to somebody else. And then that park reopens with a fresh wash and whatnot.
WTF Nation Radio, you are live on the air. Who is this?
It's Dave again.
Hi.
Dropping some more knowledge for you guys.
Yes.
ABC News has already came out with this story, and what they're saying is that although the family settled, the prosecution found more evidence of the owners signing off on the defect, saying, if it doesn't happen, oh well, I'm going to make a lot of money. That's where the negligence and the second-degree murder charges are coming from. Just because the family settled, the prosecutor could still go, oh, well, you killed people. And they literally pretty much, if that memo is legit, they killed people. They knew it. They knew these defects were there. And the car companies that know the defects in the car should go to jail too. If you sign off on it, you should go to jail.
I haven't seen that memo. I haven't seen that part of the story yet. That's really awesome to know, David. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. This is the job of a disabled veteran these days. Is I watch a lot of news, read a lot of newspapers.
That's awesome. All right. Thanks for calling, David.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. Well, and with that, we are going to go on a break.
Woohoo.
Unless you guys aren't done.
No, we can wrap that up here.
Yep.
All right, y'all. We are going to go on a break, and when we come back, we will have the third and final hour of Tied Up Tuesday. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. We shall be right back. Shots.
Shots.
relic I don't even have a heart. A robot of the system moving only when I'm told to start. Rip apart my art, I'm strong like a flower blooming. You got it all wrong, I know I'm breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier. Green beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see the day. In the constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight. Your peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media portray me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat, they spew evil words. If you are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe. And like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Of all the guilt we try to hide, and I no longer have the will to drive all these promises for lies, and I will never give into all the shit that life has put on you. The past will stay where it will die and bring an end into this goddamn life. Already giving up on you, but never giving up on me. The flies eat away at every day that's lost and left to rot away. And you're trails of panting emptiness. Your feelings for me will digress, and I will never give into all the shit that life has put on you. The past will stay where it will die and bring an end into this goddamn life. I've already given up on you, but never giving up on me. stay where it will die and bring an ending to this goddamn life. I've already given up on you, but never giving up on me. It's better to be alone. It's better to be alone.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to part 3 of Tied Up Tuesday on this 27th day of March 2018. Hello. It's my birthday. 2 days.
Woohoo!
I'm excited.
No, you said you were not excited.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to be spending it on a plane, but it's still my
You can
birthday.
get drunk on a plane.
What?
You can get drunk on a plane. I do it all the time going to class.
Dude, I always drink on planes. No,
Yeah.
The trick is to get to the airport. So, like, I hate being late for stuff, right? Especially when I travel. So, I intentionally get to the airport a few hours ahead of my flight just to make sure that I'm through security and through all the bullshit with enough time so I can then go to the bar and order a round or 2 or 3 before I have to board the plane.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
But now here's the question. Are you the type that they just sit there and go, oh, she's going to go lay down and go to sleep in the chair? Or are you the one that they're going, okay, are we going to have to kick her off?
Oh.
I hold it together. I hold my shit together.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Sorry, Nation. I gotta make a choice here. Hold on.
Right, Gray Cloud's going into his Scotch whiskey collection.
Da, 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 da.
Right. Gray Cloud, I do have a question.
Yes.
Why do you keep all your liquor in the boxes?
Because it keeps the UV rays out from them.
Is that a legit thing?
Actually, it is, yeah.
Oh. Apparently, I am not as big of an alcoholic as Gray Cloud.
I was going to say,
doing the same thing for wine.
Alcoholic is starting to show when you know that stuff.
Right?
You're what?
Friggin'. So wait, you said I have to do the same thing for wine?
Yeah, you should do the same thing for your good wines. Is you keep them in a cool. That's why keep in a cool, darker place. That way it keeps them protected better
from UV rays.
And sunlight, and it keeps them more active in things of said nature.
Can I just put sunscreen on the bottle?
It doesn't work that way. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it should, because sunscreen protects from UV.
Well, yeah. If you're a vampire or some shit, right?
Oh my god. I didn't have any sunscreen. I need to pack sunscreen. I still haven't packed.
Why?
And I leave Thursday after work.
It's fine. You just pack tomorrow when you get home from work.
I'm on call tomorrow.
Yeah, and you can't
and
tomorrow.
1 hour or less.
What, Owl?
You may have 1 hour or less to pack.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, just throw some stuff together, you'll be fine.
Right? I'm staying at my parents' house, or my mom and my stepdad's house, so I can just do laundry there. Fuck it. It'll be all right.
Your daughter comes home for her birthday, and what's the first thing she does? I need my laundry done.
Right. I need to do my laundry. So. But, like, the sad thing is, though, is that I know if I were staying with my grandparents, my grandma would be like, oh, I'll do your laundry. She's 85. It's like, Grandma, I don't need you to do my laundry. I swear, that woman does laundry every single day, and it's just her and my grandpa.
Well,
every day. She does laundry
they do in a routine.
every day. I'm like, God, I have to motivate myself just to do it like once a week. I'm like, God, it's laundry day.
Yeah, so it's funny. That's the first thing I do when I come back from class on Sunday. Gotta get done.
It does. Oh my goodness, I'm tired. I'm so sorry, you guys. I was trying to catch up on sleep yesterday so my flight back to Texas from Florida, I left Florida at like 8-something at night.
Mm-hmm.
And got into Austin around 11.
Mm-hmm.
Almost midnight, yeah. And then I had to drive like an hour, 2 hours to get home. So I didn't get home until, like 1:30. And then I was like, oh, quick nap and then to work on Monday.
Ugh.
So
You're young.
No, I'm not that young.
You're young. You can handle it.
No.
I've done it once in this semester so far where I flew in on a Monday morning and rolled right into work. It was fucking brutal.
Yeah. I'm fucking... Oh, speaking of brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple articles here. Hold on. Just got to figure out which one I want to talk about. So that... I don't want to fucking talk about that kid. Fuck that guy. Was that David Hoge?
Sandwich boy. Got it.
Huh?
Sandwich boy.
Yeah. Apparently he was being interviewed again because crisis actors have to be interviewed all the time. Like, honestly, why can't they pick a different kid to interview? Why is it always this one? Like, and not
he's
even
their line.
No, but not even one of those 5 main ones that are fucking plastered all over the place. Like, pick some random fucking student from the school and be like, hey, we need to talk to you. Not these goddamn crisis actors. Sick of it. Anywho. California apparently is planning to sue the government in regards to the upcoming census because it's racist.
Wait, what?
That was a headline that I saw like earlier today, and I'm pretty sure I fucked that up. Again, I'm exhausted, so. But no, so they're about ready to do another census, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in California, if census people are coming up and asking people about citizenship, a lot of people are going to be replying back with no comment. And so this article that I've got is definitely more of a sympathizer for illegal immigrants. But it says, during her entire working life in the United States, Carmen Quevedo has hidden in plain sight. as a babysitter. The undocumented immigrant, also known as an illegal immigrant. Like, can we just scratch undocumented from the vocabulary and, like, you know, illegal? Has taken children under her care to play in the park. As a housekeeper, she starts each day taking a leisurely walk with her boss's 2 dogs. But Miss Queveda, the mother of a 14-year-old American boy, is not about to step out of her house to participate in a census that inquires whether she herself is a citizen. Because you know you're in the fucking wrong. Quote, I would never answer because I don't have papers, the 46-year-old native of Guatemala said as she set out for a walk in the Hollywood Hills on Tuesday morning, a husky and German shepherd in tow. Obviously, I'm afraid I have a son. So she's got an anchor baby, which is why she's here.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously has been being paid under the books as either a babysitter or a fucking housekeeper because let's face it, you can pay that shit with cash. Which means it's not getting taxed.
Right.
But
so again, contributing to society.
Yeah, right? Oh, total model citizen, right? But that means she's been here at least 14, if not 15 years. If her son, who's 14, is an American citizen, as this article claims he is, she's been here for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And has not done jack shit to either apply for a visa, apply for a green card, or obtain citizenship.
I mean, seriously, how hard is that? And that's what kills me about this, is that they don't, they want to bitch about all this garbage, right? But they've been here for, like you're saying, Minx, a decade and a half, 2 decades in some cases. And they have not taken any proactive steps to try and become a productive member of the United States fabric. They want to remain an undocumented, illegal, whatever phrase you want to use for this week. And they don't want to try and make those steps and become better to stay here legally.
Right. So the article goes on to say the Commerce Department announced Monday that the 2020 census will, in fact, include a question about citizenship, a measurement the Trump administration officials say is important to help monitor voter demographics and protect minority voting rights. Critics contend that asking the question will inhibit participation among immigrants who are nervous about government queries in a highly charged political environment. The result, these critics say, could be an undercount in areas of the country most heavily populated by new immigrants. Again, if you are here legally, you've got nothing to fear.
Right. And here's the thing about the census. The census is actually designed to help with districting for representatives. So here's when you look at states like California, Florida, and those that have the sanctuary statutes, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. A census is really to get a sense of the population of U.S. citizens to help realign and or determine what is needed for representation in the Congress, specifically the House of Representatives. So how are they going to count those individuals, right? Are they going to do it based on population, which would include everybody, regardless of status? Or do you actually do it based on what the total count of U.S. citizens are in that location?
But So the article goes on to say, quote, these immigrant community, documented or not, will think twice before sharing information with government, said Ali Noorani, executive director of the National Immigration Forum, an advocacy organization in D.C., who deemed the citizenship question, quote, data-based fear-mongering. Advocates say that immigrants feared they could face deportation if their information was turned over to immigration authorities. Which it should be, because again, if you are legally here, you've got nothing to worry about.
Yep.
Just saying. Owl, you're very quiet right now.
Well, it's mainly because what you're saying. The choice is to sit there and I accept their plea of, oh, poor citizen, or not poor citizen, excuse me, poor illegal, or with what you say. Okay, hey, you know what? If you're so darned scared of being caught as an illegal, do something about it. Go out there, try to become legal. Yeah, I've heard stories where people sit there and say, "Oh no, I didn't get the status," or they put me in this whole area of I could be deported. You know what? You came here. You knew you took a roll of the dice. Now, if you want to truly have a say-so in this country, you've got to deal with the repercussions of your actions. So, man up, woman up, pull them up, and be real.
Yeah.
It's just I'm kind of in that. The reason I didn't say anything is because I can sit here and I don't like sounding callous. I really don't. Excuse me. But I know. I didn't live in California, don't live in California, know people in California, and the legal Mexicans don't even like this. They don't like the illegals because it makes them look bad.
Exactly.
Okay? So to sit there and protect these people and coddle them so they can be your next base, and let's go ahead and usher them in and allow them to vote. You know what? At some point, this is going to get old. And at some point, it is going to backfire on you, people. That's why I was quiet.
Friggin', the end of the article, they interviewed a woman who was here illegally from Guatemala, who benefited from the 1986, so the same year I was born, right? Amnesty program to legalize her once undocumented, or legalize her status of like illegal alien to, I guess, here on a visa or whatever. I don't know. But it says that the native of Guatemala became a citizen 5 years ago. It took almost 3 decades for you to do the right thing.
And that's my problem with the whole thing is people come up with all these excuses, and I don't believe them. If you want it, you can make it happen. I don't care what you say. I've seen people. All they had to do was say, you know what, I want it, and they make it happen. And this, I've watched immigrants who came in. They worked their butts off. They are, I have met up with some of the beastliest workers, damn good at what they do, and they put their mind to it. They made it happen. They became legal. So what the hell? You can't sit there and tell me, oh, well, you know, no. I'm not going to listen to it. And that's the reason I don't have the sympathy. I don't like sounding like that because okay, I'm the hippie. But
Called it.
But at the same time, I have.
But do the right thing.
I don't have tolerances.
Right? There's some things that I don't have tolerance for. And one of them is like breaking the law. If you break the law, you should be punished. If you come here illegally, that means you broke the law. So I don't care if you get punished because you did the wrong thing.
Exactly. I mean, they're trying to change the name. They're not illegals. They're just misplaced. No, they are illegal. They came here with the intention of being here illegally, and they are drawing off of our resources illegally for their benefit. How illegal can you get?
Oh, hold on. Did you just go to use the word misplaced? I misplaced my speedometer, therefore I was speeding.
I know, but that's all they're doing. They're doing wordplay. It's kind of like, I accidentally had sex. What? You accidentally fell into her vagina? Come on, this is wordplay.
Obviously. So while we're on this point, what was it, last week? I think it was. I read this article. A veteran was deported out of the U.S. after serving time in jail. He was here, I think, on a green card status of some sort or a visa. Served, was discharged due to drugs and alcohol, I do believe, and then deported after his sentence was finished. Thoughts on that?
Wait, what?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find the article.
My thoughts on that are really simple. Okay, he was out. This was not an honorable discharge, so therefore he didn't do he got caught with drugs. Guess what? You may have served. You may have even did battle, and you may have done it right, but you did the wrong thing. You did drugs, and you know that you are trying to become a citizen. And if you know this, what's the one thing you don't do? You don't get caught in the military, of all damn places.
All right, so I got the story. U.S. Army veteran who served 2 tours in Afghanistan has been deported to Mexico. Miguel Perez, 39, was escorted across the U.S.-Mexico border from Texas and brought to Mexican authorities Friday, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said in a statement to CNN. Perez's deportation came after his citizen application was denied due to a felony drug conviction. But the veteran's supporters, including devastated family members, said Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois said Perez's substance abuse was a result of the PTSD he was battling following his years at war. This case is a tragic example of what can happen when national immigration policies are based more in hate than on logic, and ICE doesn't feel accountable to anyone, Duckworth said in a statement following reports of Perez's deportation. At the very least, Miguel should have been able to exhaust all his legal options before being rushed out of the country under a shroud of secrecy. Hold on. Stop right there. Okay. A tragic example of what can happen when national immigration policy are based more on hate. No, they're based on fucking law. Last time I checked, it's based on law. He was deported based on a law. The story continues. Perez was born in Mexico, was legally brought to the United States was legally brought to the United States when he was 8 years old and became a legal permanent resident when he was 11. His father, Miguel Perez Sr., moved the family to Chicago after being offered a job there and has since, along with Perez's mother and sister, become a naturalized citizen. Stop right there. Strike 2. Your family are all naturalized citizens. It continues. Perez's other sister is an American citizen by birth, and she has 2 children, an 18-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son who were born in the United States. Perez enlisted in the Army in 2011, months before the September 11th terrorist attacks. On July 3rd, 2002, President George Bush signed an executive order authorizing all non-citizens who have served honorably in the U.S. Armed Forces on or after September 11, 2001 to file for U.S. citizenship. Duckworth said in a statement, Perez was not offered support from the U.S. Army to naturalize as a U.S. citizen on 2 separate occasions during his service. Prior to his April 03 deployment to Afghanistan, upon his return from deployment in October 03. Perez left the Army in 04 after he was reportedly caught smoking marijuana on base, and his family said he went on to suffer from PTSD. And the story continues about his plights and all this other stuff. Okay, so my issues with this, now I got it, all right? You never want to see your brother in arms suffer, and if they are suffering, you want to see them get the help they need.
Yes.
Okay? That's point one I want to make. The other half of this is for these individuals, because I have dealt with them, and I've dealt with individuals who had spouses who were non-U.S. citizens but were legal, had legal status in the U.S., right? I've seen those packets go through, and if they seemed to be getting the runaround from the Army, it was a quick email and or phone call to their representative's office, and wouldn't you know it, they had an interview shortly thereafter.
Exactly.
Okay, so what kills me is that it says his family became naturalized citizens. Now, God, it leaves out the timeline that they became it. However, why didn't he just follow the same path that they did? Granted, he's in the Army, he's in the military, he's in the service. Granted, he can still follow their process and become a legal citizen, a naturalized citizen. And the resources are there for those who are serving.
Yeah, they are.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, what you're saying, I mean, I agree with you. Okay, he is a brother, and as if he is hurting, that is a sad commentary. I will go with that. But the fact remains, we don't know the time. We don't know enough of the timeline. His family naturalized. Was he in the service by then? If he was, you're right. When I was in, I saw, and this was before George Bush's act, I saw people get their status much quicker, much easier. And yeah, you can call a senator, you can call a congressman. Stuff happens damn quick. We've got more support than a normal citizen does with this subject. So to sit there and how can he say he didn't have, and to turn around and say, oh, poor pity him because then he got caught smoking marijuana. Okay. That's where up until then, maybe I could have felt bad for him. But at that point, I have to look and say, did you put in your package before then? Did you even try before then? And if not, then you fucked it up because you know very well you're going to get, anytime you do something, especially on a base, it's a federal charge.
Right. So here's the other half of this. After the second tour, there was more alcohol, and there was also, when I tried some drugs, Perez told CNN last month. But the addiction really started after I got back to Chicago and when I came back home because I did not feel very sociable. In 2010, Perez was convicted of delivering more than 2 pounds of cocaine to an undercover officer.
This is not PTSD.
2 pounds of cocaine.
At that point, he's in it far enough that no, you can't sit there and say, this is my PTSD and I need a little bit here to get through the day.
Yeah. Perez mistakenly believed serving in the Army would automatically give him U.S. citizenship. His retroactive application was denied earlier this month because of, the drug trafficking charge. Because let's face it, if you're delivering 2 pounds of cocaine, that's trafficking.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. And it goes on to say that, applicants must demonstrate good moral character. Trafficking cocaine doesn't put that out there very well. I'm just saying.
Doesn't quite meet the standard, no. I mean, come on. His parents obviously are good people because they met the criteria. They went through with it. So obviously he knew what it would take.
Mm-hmm.
And to sit there and pulling in everybody else around him going, oh, poor pity me. You could have me as far as his military until that trafficking, because if he was caught with an ounce of marijuana, okay, but 2 pounds of cocaine,
Sorry, not feeling for if you're looking to move 2 pounds of coke.
No, at that point you've gotten into it. PTSD, maybe you have it. Hey, maybe you do.
Right.
But you're doing something else.
Yeah. Thoughts, Minx?
No, I mean, I completely agree with you guys. I don't think he should be blaming his PTSD for what happened at all. And I don't feel bad about him being deported. Because isn't there a way to gain your citizenship if you served?
Right. So a lot of those programs, especially after September 11th, a lot of those individuals could have their citizenship fast-tracked, i.e. that the timeline got truncated for what they were to become a U.S. citizen. Okay, they still had to do a lot of the legalese, like they take the test, they do all this other stuff, but that time frame of it got truncated to a very, very minimal amount of time because they've already showed their loyalty to the United States by serving in serving their nation in the armed forces. So a lot of that gets truncated, and I got it. The felony charge and conviction, though, of the cocaine is what revoked his green card status. Now, again, had he followed the path of his parents, he would still be serving his 15 years. However, he would still be a U.S. citizen and not being deported. Just saying.
Like, I don't feel bad for him. I don't fucking care. But that's me. So, I'm just saying.
That's how you really feel.
Yeah, no, I don't fucking care. Again, it comes back to my whole belief that if you break the law, you should be held accountable. So, there's that.
There is that.
Well, the law is the law is the law. There's a reason we have it.
Yeah.
If we don't have the law, all we have is social justice, and social justice is mob mentality. Let's go hang them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. That's really what it comes down to anymore. We just got reminded that this is a Hula-free zone.
Who said the H word?
Joe Crab was reminding everybody it's a Hula-free zone.
I was gonna say I don't say the H word at all.
We know.
Worst word ever.
We know you don't like that word.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. Oh God.
Women and their trigger words.
Dude, for real. If you only knew.
We do know, that's the fun part.
Right. No, and that is true. Like everyone on the station's especially KJ, he's the worst about it. He knows I hate that word, and he fucking says it all the time. I'm like, God. Friggin', oh my goodness.
Man, it's been a good night.
It has been. So I really, there's an article that I saw that I really would like to touch on before we end the show.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is, no, see, Heath, I don't care about the word moist and fucking whatever. A word though that does bother me is frothy.
Like a
no, it's okay. So from Archer, right? So when he's talking about like his mom's loins, and he's like he's something along the lines of like, don't you concern yourself like with my mom and her frothy loins? It's like, ugh. This is disgusting. Or like, what do you mean? Like, what do you know about my mother and her frothy loins?
Oh my God.
It's disgusting. Like, the word frothy when it comes to the vagina. Just, no.
I think that rates up there with squishy.
No, squishy I'm okay with. It's just frothy loins. Ugh. Makes me think of like a bad soup.
That sounds like a hooker's name. Frothy loins.
Right. So the article I wanted to talk about is it starts off with, have you ever had surgery or told your doctor about physical pain? No doubt that you've heard the question, how would you rate your pain on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being no pain and 10 being the worst pain you can imagine, right? Mm-hmm. You guys hear that every single time you go to the doctor, you go to the ER.
Or the VA.
Are you in any pain? Yes or no? Yes. All right. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate your pain? Well, this has backfired on the healthcare community in that over the last couple of years, they've turned pain into a vital sign.
What?
Yeah, I've noticed that one myself.
No, and the goal that has been decreed upon us in healthcare is that you will have zero pain. Patients will have zero pain, which, especially if you are coming straight out of surgery, that's not realistic at all. Like, you're going to have pain. You're going to have some discomfort.
Not if you drug them up enough.
But that's just it, though. We're turning pain into a vital sign has caused this opioid epidemic, because patients are so used to being like, oh, I'm still in pain. So what doctors have been pressured to do is to eliminate that pain. And how do you do that? You give them more narcotics. More narcotics until they get addicted. And now we're in this epidemic where we've got parents shooting up with heroin, waiting to pick up their fucking kids because they need that fucking fix. So we in the healthcare community have caused this opioid crisis because patients are so unrealistic with, I guess, their pain goals, that they don't want to feel, they literally don't want to feel anything. They want to be completely numb.
So let me ask you this about, again, I'm not medicine smart like you. So I want to say I read a study somewhere, or an op-ed, I guess it would have been, is that if you give a patient the ability to administer their meds as needed, right? Mm-hmm. Especially when they're still in the hospital where you can control it to a point, they actually use less have you heard of a study like this, or am I on the right track with that? What I read in the possible op-ed.
It really does depend on the patient. Again, those who are fully aware that, like, say you are, recovering from surgery or whatnot, or if you're in labor and you've got your fucking epidural and like a little button to fucking administer more of the friggin' lidocaine into your fucking spine, like, that's one thing. And some patients will fucking over abuse it, and I'll be sitting there and just hitting the button constantly to where it like alarms out, because it's like, the patient's over fucking doing this.
Right. And what I read is that there's a cutoff, like they can only get so much, if that makes sense.
But some patients, they are able to regulate it themselves, and for the most part, don't really bother anybody and don't really use narcotics or pain medication. But you've got the other end of the extreme who are constantly like, when can I get more? When can I get more? Well,
yep.
How about you give it a minute for this fucking dose to work? 1, 2, like, you have to wait at least 4 hours. Otherwise, you can face organ failure. But patients don't fucking care about that. They just want to feel that numbness and that high.
It kind of all goes back to the mentality of the patient himself and what they've been taught about pain and what they should and should not tolerate. And also depends on what you're actually dealing with at the time. I mean, you get someone like me, you start talking teeth stuff, I'm the first one to sit there and say, put something in my jaw. Other things, maybe not yes and no. But then it also goes back to the mentality, like you said.
Like, pain is there to let you know that you're still alive.
Yeah. And that something bad is going on.
Right?
Well, it's one thing that was always brought to my attention by my doctors when I was going through some of the worst stuff I went through, is they said, well, I don't like you being in pain, but I have to know that you're in pain, and I have to know where you're in pain so that I can know how to go about helping you. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when you have a patient come in who's got a broken leg. First thing the patient is, Doc, I need something for the pain. And sometimes they have to sit there and say, we can't do that because we need to know first we got to know where it's at, and 2, we need to get it back in place. We need to make sure we did it right. We have to do all these things before we really can give you any pain medication, or we could fuck it up.
Well, not only that, we're also over medicating, even in the hospital.
Oh, yes.
No, in my hospital, I can tell you for a fact, I've had many patients come down to surgery who we've had to actually Narcan.
Holy shit.
Because the ward that they came from over-medicated them.
And you have to wonder what was the reasoning behind the nurse or whoever was the one giving the medication.
Because the patient was in pain. Per the patient, they were in pain.
Oh my God.
So then the hospitals are causing fucking overdoses to inpatients now. Because, again, for whatever fucking reason, pain is a vital sign. It's not a fucking vital sign. Like for me, perfect example. I had open belly surgery. I'm fully aware that I'm going to be in some sort of discomfort because my fucking insides have been cut open. So when I was recovering, especially that first night after recovery, or like after surgery, I would wait as long as possible between getting my narcotics. I went in there with the knowledge that I know I'm not going to be completely pain-free. It's not going to happen unless I completely drug myself up it's just not going to happen. I'm going to have some sort of discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am going to be uncomfortable. I'm aware of this. So I would only ask for pain medication when the pain was getting to the point where I could no longer tolerate it. So I would get to like a 7 and be like, okay, I'm ready for like my pain medication now. It would get down to like a 2 or 3, enough to where I could fucking sleep and be like, all right, this is good. This is comfortable. Like, I know, like, you know, I'm not going to get up and fucking re-injure myself or bust open my fucking stitches so that way my fucking intestines can pop out. Because, again, I'm not drugging myself to the point where I can't feel anything.
Where you're oblivious.
Yeah.
Yep.
And see, you're right. It comes down. A lot of it comes down to expectations that doctors put on themselves and we put on doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Because doctors put on themselves the fact that they have to keep the patient comfortable. Now, there's those that truly care, and those that say, well, I want to keep the patient comfortable, so I don't have to hear about them. And then you've got the expectation of the patient going in who's got anxieties and everything else going with it, and they're going to be over hypersensitive. Mm-hmm. And the mentality behind it, that's where you start talking about the entitlement. I'm entitled to not feel this.
Right.
So yeah, I that's why I agreed with you when you talked about the 0 to 10 is becoming a vital sign. I've actually noticed that with my doctors.
It's ridiculous. Every time you go to the doctor, are you currently in pain right now? Yes or no? No. Like, I'm not. But are you? No, I'm fucking not in pain. Like, I would fucking, like, pain for me is like I'm crying. If I'm, like, at a normal blood pressure, normal pulse, I'm not in fucking pain.
Right.
You know, and that's just it. Like, pulse, blood pressure, respiratory rate, those are vital signs.
So,
fucking pain is not.
It's not. It's a judgmental scale. So as
Exactly.
we talk about patients and whatnot, in the 0 to 10, right? Do patients actually learn to pick up on where to say their pain is to get what they want?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah. No, when I think I was 16, my mom took me to the ER because I was passing a kidney stone. And, like, my mom, who's a fucking nurse, mind you, was telling me, like, while we were sitting in the ER, to continue going up to the reception desk and letting them know that my pain was getting worse, so that way they could bump me up to the front of the line. Patients pick up on fucking this whole pain vital sign bullshit. They know that if they come into the ER and they say that their pain is 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, they're going to get jumped to the front of the line.
You know what else gets you in the front of the line? Well, now anyway. Chest pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so for military, because the soldiers have died of heart failure as they're at the aid station, because we know how great Army medicine is.
Hey.
Well, hey, you great Army medicine, I'm sure, Minx. I'm just saying other places.
Fucker.
So if you go into like an aid station, from a military standpoint, if you go into an aid station or a military hospital and say, I have chest pains and it's difficult to breathe, boom, front of the line, automatically seen.
Yep.
And soldiers are learning, and I hate to say it, soldiers are learning how to game the system for themselves. And I feel, going back to what you're saying, it becoming a battle sign. And as we all know, they're starting to game the system to get what they want, i.e. probably narcotics to make them feel better from something. It becomes another issue, and that we have to deal with either on the military side or after they get out.
So, like, when I was working in the clinic, like the OBGYN clinic, anytime I had patients come in and I'd say, hey, are you in any pain right now? And they say, yes. I'd be like, all right, 0 to 10, where's your pain? 0, absolutely pain-free. 10, kill you now to get you out of your misery. That is a fucking 10, where you would rather die than be in that much pain. And they would always have to stop and rethink their fucking numbers and be like, oh. Because they were so ready to spout off this high number. And these are pregnant women who should not be taking narcotics. Mm-hmm. Because, again, they're highly addictive and it will affect your, unborn child. So, but yeah, fucking, now I'm all riled up.
Woke you up.
Right? Yeah. And just like that, Tied Up Tuesday is over.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having us.
Oh, of course. Thanks everyone in Facebook Live. Thank you everyone on Mixer. Thank you everyone on Twitter and YouTube for joining us tonight. It's a good night. Great Cloud, do you want to do housekeeping for me?
Oh, wow. One second, I will, yeah. Stand by.
Putting you on the spot.
Oh, gee, many Christmas. The reset closing my shit.
Oh, that's right. Your computer,
Yeah, my computer fucking said, fuck you, Great Cloud.
It's all right. Just do the show lineups.
I'm getting there. So, Nation, as you know, this is WTF Nation Radio. We have a show almost every night at the moment. We are currently down 2 nights. Tonight, we have Tied Up Tuesdays with myself and Minx, and Owl is joining us this evening. Tomorrow is our Donza, where there is nothing, and we usually play GTA or what's the new one we're playing?
Rainbow Six Siege.
Rainbow Six Siege. So there's that, and I need to get back on there because I haven't played in a hot minute. On Thursdays, we have Sergeant Times with Ice and guys from the main page. And then we have Friday with Friday Night Freedom, and that's Minx and Pookie driving the train on that night. And then we roll into Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pookie, and that's where it gets to some really great tinfoil hatty things. If you want tinfoil hat, tune into Saturday Night Savagery because it's pretty amazing. Again, I go back to when they aired the message from the time traveler. That was a really interesting show, and I'll just leave it at that. Sundays is another current Donza.
Nope, not
Nope.
anymore.
Oh.
Kicking it with Kaz and Owl on Sundays.
Oh my goodness. All right, there it is. Kicking. That's new. I'm glad I have an update. So kicking it with cows. Wow. See, I'm just making up all kinds of things. Look at you're now cows on Sundays. Kicking it with Kaz and Owl on Sunday. Monday is the Monday edition with Ice and Flash. And then it rolls back to us on Tuesdays.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we have guests coming up. I got it pulled up. Our current guest on next Tuesday actually is our next guest, is David Cahern from Honor Winery and Honor Brewing Company. David Cahern is a partner in Honor Winery and Honor Brewing with over 15 years experience in the hospitality industry. David has brought his passion for wine and devotion to all those who have served in U.S. military by creating Honor Winery and Honor Brewing. Mr. Kern has helped leadership and equality roles in successful hospitality companies such as JTech Communications, a subsidiary of Micros Corporation, OpenTable.com, Fishbowl Marketing, and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Phenomenal steaks, by the way. Just saying. Their motto is a glass raised of honor is always a glass raised in honor. And on Friday, Minx, you have an awesome one coming up. Singer and Navy veteran Jerry Ann Saylor. Sailor Jerry is a Navy veteran from central Minnesota. While serving in the U.S. Navy, she worked as an aviation mechanic on FA-18s with the VFA-83 Rampagers. Jerry started playing guitar and singing for the long term for the long-term care at the VA and in veteran support groups. In April 2017, she wrote and posted Hallelujah. Oh, that's her?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's going to be awesome. Sorry. Since then, it has been viewed by 103 million times and downloaded in 22 countries. She has been busy writing and in the studio ever since. Strong, her new single, was released on June 16, 2017. Dre has an album due to be released in April of 2018. So that's our lineup. Those are our upcoming guests. I'm hoping that I have service as I'm driving back for class on Friday. That'll be awesome.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for doing that for me, Great Cloud. All right, you guys. That concludes our show for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, we will see you here Thursday for Sergeant's Time. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Bye.
Shots.
Tennessee. Days on the farm, it just comes naturally. Daylight to dark is not for the typical man. Just a backwoods country boy, proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Proud of who I am. Well, this is my rifle, this is my gun. Let's get 'em, boys, come on and get you some. Let's get you some. And I'll fire all my rounds down range till the enemy hits the sand. Yes, sir, I knew exactly what I was doing when I swore to Uncle Sam. If you don't like the way I'm living, just remember that it's for you. I'm a redneck camel wearing son of a gun for the red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Pack my bags, headed out to the big sandbox. Just some good old boys and me, some made it some night. Well, the price of freedom, son, it don't come free. I guess that's why the good Lord chose me. This here's my rifle.